To another video from the Math Tutor for You Too channel. And in today's video, we are going to be dealing with probability. We're going to start with applying ratios to probability, and we're going to work through some problems. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to smash the like button. Also, feel free to subscribe to this channel if you want to have access to more of the content and keep up to date. All right, let's start with today's video. Probability. What is probability? Well, probability of an event, or P event, tells you how likely it is that something will occur. After we talk about probability, we need to talk about the outcome. So what exactly is the outcome? Well, an outcome is the result of a single trial, like you take a dice and you roll it and you get a 3. That would be the outcome of a single roll of a dice. Next, we'll talk about event. An event is any outcome or group of outcomes. So let's say I take a dice and I roll it and I get a 2. And next time I take the dice and I roll it and I get a 6. Well, the event would be I got a 2 and then I got a 6. The next vocab word that we have is the sample space. This is all of the possible outcomes. So if I'm dealing with the dice, my sample space would be 1 through 6. I can get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. I can't get anything greater than 6 if I roll 1 dice, and I can't get 0 because there's no 0 on a dice. So here is how these 3 terms that we've talked about, outcome, event, and sample space, has to do with finding the probability of rolling an even number on a dice. So, what is our event? The event, or the group of outcomes that we're looking for, is all the even numbers, rolling an even number. And so our event would be 2, 4, or 6. That's what we're looking for, 2, 4, or 6. Everything else is odd. The sample space is we have access to 1 through 6 because the dice, again, has the numbers 1 through 6 on it. The possible outcomes of rolling a fair number cube are equally likely to occur. This is said to be our theoretical probability, when we say that nothing else can interfere and we have an equal chance. So that's where we're going to get our first formula. Theoretical probability. This is the way we'll calculate it. P event equals the number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible outcomes. So for example, the probability of rolling an even number on a 6-sided dice is 3 out of 6. We can roll a 2, a 4, or 6. That's 3 outcomes that we can have. The total outcomes is 6 because we could either roll a 1 through 6. And if we simplify that fraction, it would be a half. So the probability is 50% chance that we'll roll an even number versus an odd number. Now, of course, we know that if you roll a dice, that's not always, in fact, the case. We don't have a 50-50 shot. This is why it's called theoretical probability. Let's go through a quick example together. We're going to be asked to find the theoretical probability. So refer back to our formula. A bowl contains 12 slips of paper, each with different names of a month. Find the theoretical probability that a slip selected at random from the bowl has a name of a month that starts with the letter J. So of course, if we go through the months, we have January, we have June, we have July. So we have 3 months that all start with the letter J. All the other months do not. So our formula, P event, equals our number of favorable outcomes over the total number of outcomes. So our favorable outcomes is 3 and our total is 12. So our probability would be 1 over 4 or 25%. All right, next let's talk about the opposite. So we talked about favorable outcomes, a probability of an event happening. our favorable outcomes. Next, we can talk about the complement of an event. Now, the complement of an event is going to consist of all the outcomes not in the event. So we're going to have a simple formula to figure this one out, which is going to be P event, the probability of the event happening, plus the probability of the event not happening or not event is going to equal 1. So if we want to solve for a probability of not event, it's going to be 1 minus the probability of the event, or the probability of the favorable outcome. So let's go through an example. On a popular television game show, a contestant must choose one of 5 envelopes. One envelope contains the grand prize of a car. Find the probability of not choosing the car. So our probability of the event, the favorable thing happening, is the car. That's the event. And that's going to equal the number of favorable outcomes over the number of outcomes that we have, the possible outcomes. So first, let's go through how do we solve for our P event. What's the event? The event is finding the envelope with the car. So P of car, the probability of finding that car, is going to equal the number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible outcomes. So we have a total of 5 envelopes that we can choose from. One of them will have the car. So 1 out of 5 is going to be our probability. Now let's go through the probability of not choosing the car. We can use our formula, which is 1 minus the probability of the event. So 1 minus 1 over 5. Solving this, we will get 4 out of 5. Let's go through 2 more examples to see if you have caught on with theoretical probability. All right, here's our first problem. We have a spinner, and we want to find the theoretical probability of landing on the given section or sections of the spinner. So the probability of purple. So if we look at our spinner, we see that there's 3 places that have purple. And there's a total of 6 places. So we want favorable outcomes on top of our fraction. And the bottom part, the denominator, we want the total number of possible outcomes. So for purple, we'll have 3 over 6, or a half. That would be our probability of landing on a purple section. All right, here's our second problem. Suppose you roll a number cube. Find each probability. So part A, the probability of rolling a 3 or a 4. So we could either roll a 3 or a 4, so that's 2 favorable outcomes out of how many total possibilities? Out of 6. So it'll be 2 out of 6 or 1 over 3. And our next problem is the probability of not rolling a 5. So that means we can roll anything but a 5 on a dice. That means we have 5 over 6 for our probability. Hopefully you found this video helpful for dealing with a little bit about theoretical probability. I will be posting a worksheet in the posts with some more difficult probability problems and posting another video working through those problems. Again, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.